Hey y'all, welcome back to Math Rescue. I'm Andre, your certified math coach. In this video, we're talking about how to identify the extrema of a polynomial function, the high points and the low points that show where the graph changes direction. We'll start by spotting them visually on the graph, then look at a few quick ways to recognize extrema and other representations too. Once you know what to look for, finding them becomes second nature. Let's talk about it. Alright, so finding the extrema on the graph is extremely simple. You want to find the dips and the peaks of the graph. So I can see that we have a peak right here. I can see that we have a dip right here. It's as simple as that. Those are our extrema. This extrema in particular up here happens to be a relative max. This extrema down here happens to be a relative minimum. In order for them to have the adjective of absolute, there can't be any points higher or lower than it on the y-axis. In this case, this function is going up for forever and down for forever. So this function isn't going to have any absolute extrema, but it will have a relative max and a relative min. So let me go ahead and record those. It looks like the relative max happens near x equals -1, and the relative minimum's happening near x equals +1. Now, what if you don't have the graph? What if you just have the equation? Well, you can always complete a table of values, and the table of values is going to give away hints on where the extrema might be. For example, let's look at a couple points on here. If I look at x equals -3, x equals -3 is probably like down here, like if I were to kind of drag this out a little bit more. So I'm just going to say a really small negative number. If I look at x equals -2, now we're not quite as negative. Now this is at y equals -2. If I look at -1, we are now at y equals 2. And if I look at 0, we're now at y equals 0. So I can kind of see that for us to go from a y value of -2 to a y value of 2 back down to a y value of 0, there had to be some type of peak here. And if I were to check x equals 1, I would see that it goes down to -2. And then my next x value, if I also had 2 here in this table, we would see that x equals 2 is back up to +2. So same thing kind of here. We would see that we're at 0. We go down to -2, and then we go up to y equals 2. And so that would tell me I have some type of dip there. I'm Andre, your certified math coach. See you in the next one.